Hello, everyone. We are super excited to have you joining us today. Oh my goodness. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're going to be watching a replay, we welcome you to the Woo Talk Show, okay?
Woo!
And this show is designed to spotlight superstars and champions who are out here in the trenches, who are out here positively impacting the lives of other people simply because it's their gift, it's their talent, it's their passion, something they love to do. And they're giving back to the world, they're giving back to their communities. And we want to celebrate them because a lot of people are not showed that they're appreciated and they need to know that they are. So we celebrate people, everyday people who positively impact the lives of others. And today's Spotlight Champion, guys, you're going to love this show today. I mean, Mr. Marshall Weingarden. This gentleman, look, this young man, okay, is really positively impacting the lives of other people. He has something that he has to offer that will change your life. If you know anyone that suffers from any type of ailments, any type of pain issues, please tag them. Please share this on your page. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, because he's getting ready to share and drop some nuggets and just share his story. He's lived a full life, and he has seen a lot over the years. So for him to have something that can help people to not be in pain, to not have to live in pain and not have to cope with pain and have to deal with pain. It is really amazing, guys. So we're super, super excited. And that's just what this show is about. Positively impacting the lives of other people through the stories of people who have overcame challenges, who have overcame adversity, who have just stayed focused on what their purpose is without thinking about anything else. They trusted God and they trusted in the gift that they have. And now, just like Mr. Weingarten, sharing it with the world. And these are people that make you say, woo. I mean, wait till you hear his story. You're gonna say, woo, this is amazing, right? And you're gonna really want to share this. So definitely tap in, and we're going to now turn this call and this show over to our spotlight superstar champion, Mr. Marshall Weingarten. Mr. Weingarten, welcome to the Woo Talk Show.
Thank you, LaShawn. Um,
You're welcome.
it's a pleasure to be here, and it especially keeps me indoors on this very brisk morning.
Yes, it is a brisk morning. Glad to be inside today.
So
Tell us a little bit about your background, Mr. Weingarten.
um, my background is so varied. Most people don't believe what I tell them.
Wow.
You know, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, for starters.
Wow, okay.
So my dad, when he got out of the army, he was working in a butcher shop, hated it, was looking for another way to make a living. And so what he started to do was to pick up and deliver dry cleaning in the evenings, usually recruiting customers out of this butcher shop he worked in. In any case, he and my mother built it up to a very sizable business, and then they became acquainted with some other businesses like Avon products and these home demonstration products, and they decided that so they were selling clothing, and they decided they might as well have clothing parties just like you could have a Tupperware party, and they built a very nice business out of it. They had hundreds of customers. Um, and I started working with my dad when I was 9 years old. So I've been working for a long time. Um, in any case, Dad was a great teacher. He taught how to treat customers because customers were very important. You know, any business you get into, the hardest thing to get is a customer. Um, there I spent many years in the consulting business. There's an old consulting. There's an old joke about clients, and the question is, how as a consultant, you get two clients, and the answer is you get one client. you have to you have to build. You need references, and I built a very sizable consulting business that way. At one time, it employed, I think, 27 people. And we went into other things like outsource management, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. In any case, um, I'm somebody with pretty much an insatiable appetite for knowledge and especially science. And I teach myself whatever I want to know. I'm fortunate in that respect. Um, so one of the things I taught myself was electronics and radio. And later on, I got into the telecommunications industry, working for dear old Ma Bell, and
Okay.
saw that it was an interesting business, but I sure didn't want to work there because they had no idea what they were doing, especially at the time I was working there. They just couldn't see the world around them, and they got hammered because of it. But I learned a lot about the business. I learned what you could do for customers. I learned where the little hooks were. I learned how to use tariffs to my customers' advantage. I learned how to cut costs. I, I developed project management programs. I used to do large programs replacing technology for customers. Um, I taught myself how to design networks. Actually, I went to the University of Michigan for a 1 week networking seminar at the School of Engineering, um, which at least gave me an idea of where the references were that I had to read. And I learned how to model networks and actually use them for my clients. I mean, I could go into so many interesting stories about my projects. Um, and one of the other really interesting things was that my educational background, my formal background, wouldn't seem to fit with what I did. What did I study? I studied sociology and economics.
Hmm.
But the thing about sociology is it teaches you about people and groups of people, and it's powerful. And I use that to solve customers' problems from time to time.
That's
Um, uh, they were unusual solutions. In any case, so I built that business. Um, we ended up being an outsourced manager for people's telecommunications for their mobile phones. We had help desk. Um, we had 250,000 devices under management. That went right up to some very large federal agencies like the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
wow.
Um, so I merged with another business, and eventually that got bought by a national company, and I got out of the business. But in the meantime, I was introduced to some folks by the son of my best friend, and these folks were in the Ukraine, and they were PhDs. They were based at the big national technical university, and they had come up with this very interesting little product called the Nano Diamond. Actually, technically, a detonation nanodiamond.
You
So
said
what-
nano diamond.
nano, Nano.
Okay. Nano
So
diamond.
so nano means billionth.
Okay.
All right. So you see microns. This is 1,000 times smaller than a micron, and a micron is a millionth of a meter.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's interesting. So this nano diamond. Ha! Y'all pay attention, pay attention.
Okay. So this is the This is the strangest and coolest stuff you've ever seen. Well, not seen actually, unless we bring along a jar of the powder. Uh, when we create the nanodiamond crystals by taking a kilogram of either TNT or RDX, putting it in a chamber, an explosion chamber, evacuating the atmosphere so it can't burn, and then blowing it up. We create a huge pressure wave, high temperature, and soot. And 40% of that soot is nanodiamond crystals. And they are so tiny when you make them that 1.5 million will fit on the head of a pin.
Wow.
So, just for perspective, and they are truly unusual. They still have the characteristics of diamonds. They're still the hardest substance known, but they are also catalytic. They have some little groups of chemicals on their surface. They carry an electrical charge, and if any of you are acquainted, the typical charge is between minus 30 and minus 70 millivolts. And we can actually manipulate that if we want to. Well, our friends in the Ukraine, we were working with them to do commercial stuff. So to use coatings and to use the nanodiamonds as additives and other materials for strengthening. And we did do some of that. And they also had some consultants there, one of whom was a PhD pharmacologist and an MD. And my partners have been selling a natural liquid to the Ukrainian army for the treatment of burns. Well, this was Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil. You can find ads for it on the web. It's no secret that it exists. The stuff we get is the highest quality stuff that's grown in the Ukraine. She added those little nanodiamond crystals to it. I said, well, I wasn't really that interested at the time, but it was always in the back of my mind why she did that. And I didn't want to get involved with that because we had other fish to fry. We wanted to do the industrial and commercial stuff. We wanted to use our oil additives and our coatings. Anyway, sometime later, I had an attack of rheumatoid arthritis in the ring finger on my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'd had this before, and I always got rid of it using hand grips to exercise it because exercise is a known treatment for rheumatoid arthritis. This time I was so busy, I ignored it, and I ignored it too long, and the exercise didn't help, and the finger swelled up, and it got a deposit in the joint, and you could feel it click when you bent your finger. And I said, nuts. And I went to thinking about why she had put the crystals into the Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil. So I had them send me some. And I used it in my finger. I didn't keep track of dates, but it took less than 2 months and maybe less than 1 month. It totally reversed all the symptoms and the damage. There's nothing left. It's been gone for 5 years.
Wow.
I said, that's interesting. Well, rheumatoid arthritis is kind of a stereoscopic disease. If it does it in one place, it has to have a parallel somewhere else. It did in this finger. Okay. So this was a chance to experiment.
Right.
And I experiment with everything. So the question in my mind was, what was really the active ingredient? Was it the Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil, or was it the nanodiamond crystals that fixed my rheumatoid arthritis? So I had my friends in the Ukraine make me up glycerin with nanodiamond crystals in it. And I used it on this finger, and it cleared up the problem. So
you knew it was the crystals and not the oil.
But the oil has some other benefits. but that's
Because it's the carrier, right?
not. It's not just a carrier. It was used historically even to treat rheumatoid arthritis and eczema and rashes and stings and whatever. It probably still is a folk remedy in Eastern Europe and Asia. Uh,
Mm.
it was not an unknown item. So
That is awesome.
I saw there was an opportunity here, and I had the guys in the Ukraine make me up some bottles. They made it up with the Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil. They made it up with glycerin. I, I met friends or talked to friends who have suffered from back pain. Most that back pain is probably the most common pain there is, and it's not treated well. Uh, when you go to an orthopod, uh, they know how to operate. They can put you in traction probably, but it doesn't get, and not a lot of it gets to the underlying causes, and some things are just chronic. Um, it's inflammation. Okay, and most of the things we treat have to do with inflammation. So I started giving it to people with back problems. They put it on. The problem would go away. They'd take it and see what other kind of problems they had. Well, one of the first ones also had a scar on her left hand. She'd had it for 6 years. It was a surgical scar. She put it on that. It went away.
What?
Who'd have known? Yeah.
Wow. Now you're
Okay.
making me want to get some. Now I got a little scar I need to go away.
it, well, I'm going to show you more. So this was a burn treatment. Now I didn't put up a slide, but a few weeks ago I managed to spill boiling water on my arm. And I don't know how well you can see this,
Hmm.
but it was this area. You can see a little pink left, perhaps.
Yeah, just a little pink too.
Okay, it was a burn that included blisters.
And you put the nano crystals on there.
The Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil with the nanodiamond crystals. There's some pictures on our website fmrelief.com that shows a steam burn and it going away using this. That was my arm. I, I
Wow.
I walked too close to my tea kettle when it was boiling.
Okay. How long did it take for that burn to get the way it is now, I guess?
This one, a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Uh, it's
And what about pain? Does it address the pain or just the physical?
My answer to that is what pain.
I know that's right, Mr. Weingarden.
you, uh, you remember I'd been giving this to people who had pain, back pain, joint pain,
Right.
very pain.
Arthritis, right.
Um,
Mm.
I the proprietor of my local feed store where I buy food and stuff for my dogs. Um, she had rheumatoid arthritis in her right here. It was so bad. It was all swollen up. And I looked at it one day when she was checking me out at the register, and I asked her if that hurt her, and she said yes. And she wasn't able to sleep through the night because of it. And it woke her up by 4 o'clock every single morning.
Oh my God.
Well, I brought her back a bottle of the glycerin and nanodiamond crystals and put some on it and gave it to her to take home to try. A couple of days later, I came back to see how she was doing. And before I could get a word out of my mouth, she comes out of her store and she says, "Can I sell this stuff for you?" The first time she used it, she was able to sleep through the night. Now,
This is amazing. This is
what?
amazing.
Okay, you want to amazing. Now, unfortunately, the gentleman is no longer with us. There is an annual conference at Wayne State University over in the new business in the business incubator. Um, the Med Health, what is it? It's the Med Health something, but it's for uh, people in that industry uh, and for entrepreneurs because there's an entrepreneurial program down at Wayne State and they have all kinds of support. And I went down there, and before the speakers, I was over in line for coffee, and I met this gentleman who's in a wheelchair. And so I asked him his story, how he ended up in the wheelchair. Excuse me.
I'm about to get some of
And
this stuff from my mom.
he said, well, he'd been in an industrial accident 25 years previously and had severed his spinal cord. And he'd been on narcotics ever since. This was about as much motion as he had in his neck. And he couldn't sleep through the night, of course, from the pain. So I told him about what I had. And I always carry stuff in my pocket because you never know when an opportunity will knock.
Absolutely.
And I took a bottle of our hemp oil formula, which is hemp seed oil. It doesn't have any of the THC that you get from the stalk of the hemp plant.
Okay.
And I asked him if I could put it on his neck. And he had told me before that he knew he was a short timer. I mean, he had pretty serious problems. And sure, what did he have to lose? So I put it down his spinal cord on the back of his neck. I don't think it took 2 minutes. And he had full motion back and forth for his neck, which he demonstrated to me. So knowing it worked that well on this, I gave him a bottle to take home and try it because this was a 2-day conference. I'd see him the next day. And I told him to put it on his neck before he went to bed. First time he'd slept through the night in 25 years. Unfortunately, he passed early this year. Nice fellow. He was working on a system for wheelchair-bound folks to be able to wash themselves, to replace a shower. And I understand that his wife's still working on that project.
Okay. Wow. Isn't it awesome just to know that you were able to help him in his last days at least be comfortable, at least not.
It was probably his last year.
Well,
I think he go on for about a year after that, a little more. But
wow.
This has helped so many people. When I first started, I always carry it with me. When people used to complain, they tell me they got an ailment. I have a buddy. We've been friends since we were freshmen at Wayne, and that's a long, long time ago. And he had a stroke. He's wheelchair bound. But I had told him about this stuff, so he shows me a finger. Same finger I had that problem in. And I know, can I put some on you? Sure. So I put it on him, and he looked at me, and he said, it stopped hurting. Now, he's an old friend, and I figured he was pulling my leg because I'd never seen anything like that before.
That fast, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was instantaneous. So anyway, we also sell additives for motor vehicle engines for the oil. And one of my partners and I were out on the west side of Michigan at a dragway hawking our products, but I also had a display of our other products, the stuff for your hands and all kinds of things. Anyway, gentleman comes up. He asks me what I've got. I tell him what it is. He shows me the same finger again. Still got pain, it's got arthritic pain in it. Have my little bottle. I have to show you because this is the same little bottle I've been carrying for probably 5 years. We don't see the label anymore.
That's the lifesaver right there.
Well, I use this all the time. I'll get to that later. So anyway, um, I asked him, can I put something on your finger? And he said, sure. And I put it on his finger and he looked, he said, it stopped hurting. Apparently my buddy wasn't pulling my leg.
Right.
He said, I'll take one of everything you got.
Wow.
He bought all the additives and all our topicals.
Absolutely. I
Probably the
mean, when
biggest.
you find something like that, I mean, it's amazing how the things, it's like a treasure, the things that heal, cure, work, it's like hidden. And it's so many people that are living with pain. And they think that this is the way that they have to live now for the rest of their life, because whatever's being prescribed or whatever's being suggested is not working for them. And they think that that's, you know, some people, I've heard people say that whatever medication they were taking for pain, it, it, um, it helps some. Like it didn't take the pain completely away. So they're still dealing with a minimum level of pain, and they feel like they have to live like that.
It, I've got an old business friend down in Atlanta, and she saw a post I made on LinkedIn talking about that gentleman, and so she sends me a note telling me that she's been suffering from ankylosing spondylitis, which is a very severe form of arthritis in the spine and neck
Mhm.
for her. And so I told her I would send her some stuff to try. And I sent her the hemp seed oil formula. And she travels a lot. She has a nice business of her own. And she didn't get back to using it for probably a week after it arrived at her house. In any case, next thing you know, I get another message on LinkedIn. Um, 3 words, one of them being a contraction. It's a miracle.
Wow.
It it stopped it. She'd been suffering for years with this.
That is amazing, Mr. Weingarten.
Well, it's
You
it's
got a
it's
jewel. I mean, literally, it's nano diamonds. you you literally have.
who'd have thought it? Or if you're old enough to be a Pogo fan, who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk that?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
um,
Do you have any of your products around you that you can kind of show and kind of talk about what it does and what it is and everything?
well, let's see if I got a good enough for that. Well, so here we have. What do I have in my pocket? I think I put some stuff in my pocket. If I didn't, where did I put it?
Okay,
Okay.
this is awesome, guys. Please click, tag, share, guys. Share this. This is awesome. Mr. Weingarten, this says it's relief. What does it say?
Hemp seed oil formula.
Hemp seed oil formula of relief.
Yeah.
And what would you use that for?
Whatever hurts you.
Anything that hurts, wherever there's pain.
You know, if you have a headache, you can rub this on the back of your spine, and generally it'll take the headache away. It'll even stop migraines. When you start getting symptoms. And all it is a simple roller ball. You just roll it on.
Roll it on. It's a roll on. Okay.
Yeah. Um, I
Yeah, what's some other stuff? That's good right there. So guys, that was the let me put him up here on the solo layout
well
so you
this
can see everything that he's putting up there. So this is turn that around.
whoops. Let's go
Yep,
again.
yep, that way.
Good.
Okay. So yep, relief hemp seed oil formula.
Right.
You guys can use that on anywhere you have pain. It takes away headaches, migraines. People who are suffering from migraines, my God, I know you
Well,
definitely want something that'll take it away.
it will stop them from developing if you catch them before they start. I can't promise they'll take them away once you have one.
Now this one says relief joint pain formula.
Yeah, this was
So
the
that's for joints. The other one is for more of topical.
well, they're both topical. This is the same thing.
Well,
Roll
I
up.
mean, surface pain as opposed to joint.
No, no. Remember, the nanodiamonds are so tiny; they will go directly through your skin and instantly.
So I can use the regular one on my joints as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And let me. I, I don't. I should go grab a.
So is there
Oh,
any type of difference where the one that says joint pain is that it just focuses on something specific or something?
I like to use the the glycerin on joints that are deeper beneath the skin. And we don't have any scientific evidence for what I'm about to say, so you can take this. You can say it's speculative. Uh,
Okay.
I think that the glycerin may persist on your skin longer than the hemp seed oil and may provide uh, a longer lasting stream of the nanodiamonds going beneath your skin. Can't prove that.
Okay.
But I use both. I use I use the glycerin on my great toes of my feet. I've used it on my knees whenever I've had pain. Um, I've had rheumatoid arthritis attacks in my feet. They're nasty. I've used both the hemp and the glycerin. In fact, one evening I was about to take my dachshunds out for a walk,
Hmm.
and I tried to stand up, and my right foot just about couldn't stand on it. I I took off my sock. I took the hemp seed oil formula. I I addressed the entire area of my foot where I was feeling pain. Got my sock back on. Put my shoes back on. So that pain was completely gone by the time I reached the end of the block.
Wow.
Um, I'm not surprised about it. Um, you have to remember when I told you about the little characteristics of these crystals. It is my theory, in part, that the electrical charge on the crystals blocks the pain channel or interferes with the pain channel. And the other part is that your body's natural processes include electrical signaling. And when there's cell damage of any kind, your body generates a minute electrical signal for cell migration to repair the damaged area. I just figured
Wow.
that this is that effect on steroids. And by the way, it took me 2 years to find that information.
That is amazing. I'm telling you guys, you need to share this. I'm telling you, this is amazing. Like, you guys need to, Mr. Weingarten, make sure that you share with everyone. And I'm going to also post how people can contact you, how people can go and order. This is amazing, guys. If you know anyone that suffers from any type of pain, click, tag, share, tag them on this. Maybe you can buy them one of his products for as a Christmas gift. But I'm telling you, I mean, if it's helping people with migraines, helping people with back pain, rheumatoid arthritis, spondyle,
Ankylosing spondylitis.
yes, that one. I mean, this is huge. Joint pain, like people are suffering from that. I know people who suffer from joint pain when the weather changes, and this could help to relieve that pain. So I'm excited. I'm so glad, that you made the connection you made, and that you were able to discover, like you said, it never left your mind, like, why did that lady put those crystals? And you had to just figure that out. And I'm telling you, that was nothing but God, brought that back to your remembrance and allowed you to connect with them, and that they were willing to ship you some so that you can see and try it out. So I'm glad that you made the discovery.
Well, I, we've created products that do a lot more than that. Um,
Okay.
Okay, so we have something called first aid formula, which is a Siberian sea buckthorn oil with nano diamond crystals. And, that was the original burn treatment.
Okay.
Well,
For burns. Okay, yeah.
yeah, okay. So, anyway,
Wow,
I
that
was,
might help my grandbaby. My grandbaby was in a fire when
oh,
she was 3.
uh,
And over 50% of her body burned.
oh,
We're actually going to be going, I think, this weekend. Um, no, I think next Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. We're waiting to hear back from the doctor because a lot of the RSV that's going on
yeah.
out in children's mots and it's overcrowded. But that's where she's due for her skin graft, and she's 8 now, so this is going to be probably a little difficult for her. They're going to remove some skin from, I think, her back of her thigh,
Yeah.
and then put it where I don't know where they're going to start with her arms or her legs, but yeah, I wonder if that will help.
What I don't know is whether or not this will work on burns that were that severe. I suspect it will do something. It just will take some time. Um,
Hmm.
and I've enhanced it in other ways as well. I just a quick story.
Okay.
Um, I use it to treat atopic dermatitis, which is otherwise known as eczema.
Yes.
Okay, and I I knew, and I was. I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture. Let's see it. Um, trying to see how I can just.
Simply amazing.
Well, I've got a picture I'm going to show you. Whoops, where'd that go? Um,
Thank you for tapping in today, and I'm guys. I'm telling you, when people come and see this, you better watch. You better reach out, contact Mr. Marshall Weingarden. For your pain relief needs. If you have anyone that may be elderly in your family, and they suffer from that arthritis, it's horrible. I actually just thought of somebody. I'm not sure if it'll work for her, but I mean, you're saying that these people were suffering for years
oh
from
yeah,
this, and it just did it. So I'm gonna get some for Sister Catherine Burden. Um, I don't know if it'll make her fingers come back to the original.
you would be well if they're really swollen up with deposits. I can't answer that one. I,
Right, I
I
understand.
I do know that I've had customers who have bought these things for mothers where they couldn't open their hand. And I mean, I got a message back from this was several years back. One of the fellows that lives not too far from me had contacted me, um, and he'd gotten some of the joint pain formula for himself for his knee, and he was so thrilled with it. He took it to his office and he would start putting it on people there, and people that came in the door is because a lot of the people that came through the door were tradesmen. They've been working with their hands were beaten up, and the next thing I know, I'm getting orders from around the country for this stuff because it's working so well. One of them was a woman who got it for her mother, and she brought it over to her mother's house, and her mother couldn't open her hands. Her arthritis was so bad. She said as soon as she put it on her hand just opened right up.
My God.
I've never seen that before. I still haven't seen it, obviously, because
Right, because you weren't there to see
right.
it. Man, that is awesome. That is really, really awesome. I'm so, so excited because a lot of people's pain can be relieved now.
Well,
Um,
if you have eczema, I've, the first aid formula will help with eczema. I developed something even a little more powerful, and the way I did that is one of my miniature dachshunds had allergies, and he had an eczema plaque all over his belly, his body, his underside. and I experimented on them.
You already got an order coming. You already got an order. Somebody in Georgia needs some right now.
Well, I this
And
stuff.
I listen, is that my mom? Because I was already thinking I was gonna get some. My mom, I don't know if this addresses neuropathy pain.
It certainly does.
Oh my gosh.
The hemp seed oil formula.
That's exactly what I want to send to my mom. She has neuropathy pain.
You put it on twice a day. It will fix your neuropathy pain.
Wow.
Um, I've treated people with this before with neuropathy. This is not a surprise.
Wow. Look, she's like, yes, ma'am, your mama, yes, ma'am. I already knew when you said Georgia. We getting you some, ma. Shoot. I know that's right. Joint pain. If you know anybody suffer from joint pain, I mean, this is huge. I'm telling you, because
um,
this could change, a lot of people, their life has literally changed because of their pain.
oh
A lot
yeah,
of people don't go places, and one problem or trauma can lead to the next. So say if I'm sick, or if I have pain, I suffer from back pain or arthritis or whatever it may be, and I don't want to move, or I don't want to get up and go because that pain is just so unbearable when it catches me off guard and I'm out. So I just decide I'm just going to stay home. Now I'm home all the time. I'm not getting fresh air. I'm not getting exercise. I'm not meeting people. I'm not social. And then that starts to set in. And then loneliness can set in, depression, just all kind of things. It's just a trickle down effect, like a domino effect.
pain is debilitating. Period.
Mm, mm, mm.
I've
Pain
got
is
some really
debilitating.
sad stories about pain from years ago, where people ended their lives because of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. One of the did you see that one of the news anchors, the lady, she had some type of surgery on her eyes, I think, and the pain that she was feeling from it, from behind her eyes or something, was just so unbearable that she took her own life.
I think I noticed something about that.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Pain is debilitating, and we do not have to live in pain. Um, and this is just a prime example, guys, of your gift, what it is that you have. Yeah, look, and the cold weather causes pain too.
Yeah, well,
That's
it changes in atmospheric pressure.
right. The
Um,
changes in the atmosphere, it changes the pressure in the atmosphere.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why some people, they know when it's gonna rain. They
yeah.
could be your weather person because their knee is hurting and they know the rain's coming. And so this is something that, I know our God did not intend for us to live in pain. And so this is a prime example of tapping into your gift, your purpose, because who would have ever thunk Mr. Weingarden has something that is absolutely amazing. And it all came from a thought. It all came from a thought. So, just understand that when God gives you something, don't ignore it, when it's something that is just like you can't get it out of your mind. You can't get away from that thought. Like, why? So, you need to ask God, like, why can't I get this off my mind? What is it that I need to do here, or how am I supposed to be involved with this? Because he couldn't get that lady out of his mind. Like, why did she put those doggone nanocrystals in that oil? I just want to know that. And even some time later, he thought about it again, right? It was something that it just
yeah.
didn't get away from him.
I store so much in there that I have to sometimes rent external storage. Um,
I love it. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm excited. Mr. Weingarten, please share with everyone how to contact you via your website, if they can contact you by phone, email, whatever it is, your social media um, handles and everything. Please share that with us at this time.
Okay, if you give me a second, I'll see if I can bring up. I made up a slide for that.
Sure, that'll be so
Um,
awesome. Yes.
there we go.
Yes, we are excited, guys. This is amazing. I'm just so excited about these connections that are still being made every single day. Um,
Okay.
just talking to people and them sharing their gift. It's amazing. So this is something that, we can share with a lot of people, young and old, right? That are suffering from different types of pain. They definitely need to connect with Mr. Weingarten because he has the solution.
Oh, okay. I have to upload the slides to share it this way. That will not work. That'll take a little time. Well,
Why you did you go to present and then what? Slides?
the last slide has all the contact information.
Well, that's okay. You can scroll over to the last slide?
Well, first I have to upload it. Hang on just a
Go
sec.
hit present. Let me see. Then go to slides and then
I
your
saw how to do it, and did it,
All right. So guys, I want you to please share this, guys. You may be able to share it from my main page. I think there's a way that you can.
I just uploaded the whole file. It'll be there in a second.
Okay, it's gonna be shared.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. There it is. All right, guys, this is awesome. So now we've got a slideshow here. So would you like me to go through the slides and you can kind of walk through them?
Well, I,
Or do
well,
you want me to just
I,
go to?
I can go through myself. I can do those.
Okay.
Um, so this is the name of our company. Yeah. Um, I told you about the detonation synthesis nano diamond that we make and that we use to power all this stuff.
Hmm.
Our highest quality nano diamond, the purest product, is what goes into these therapeutic products that we make, and this stuff is certified by the government as having no detectable contaminants. It's if we had a medical grade facility, we call it medical grade, but we don't. But you have to have a special special room for that. So we can't.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So these are some of the things that we do. Um, we change the characteristics of the stuff we put it in. Well, let me go back one more. So when you think of polymers, you can think of plastics. So for instance, you can now get filaments for 3D printing that have our nanodiamond crystals in them, and it changes the way the layers, because in 3D printing you put the printer puts layer upon layer upon layer that has to adhere to, each layer has to adhere to the one below it. This stuff makes it very, very strong, and it's also abrasion resistant. We make it into coatings. We can electroplate things with it so that they don't wear. And in fact, we brought out a line of nozzles for 3D printers that where the tips are electroplated with a nanodiamond chrome. They never wear out, and they put down a much better layer of filament when you're manufacturing stuff. And we have it in lubricants and lubricant additives. So we have greases, we have stuff to put in your oil, and then of course what I've been talking about, the therapeutics for healing.
Right. Okay.
And you can tell really quick, the engine oil. And by the way, we've had our engine oil additive run in NASCAR. It reduces friction. Um, on a dynamometer, one of the crew chiefs tells me that just adding the our additive to the oil gives them a 1% horsepower increase just because that's friction loss. So it reduces it. All right.
So
Um,
amazing because I just I gotta go and check out my engine light came on my car and it says that it's my catalytic converter. And I seen something where it said that I can use a cleaner or something. So I got to get that
how
checked
many miles? How many miles do you have on your car?
out. About 130.
You're going to replace the converter. They're good. I I'm trying to think
There
what
are a lot of commute miles though. I don't know if that makes a difference, but
it's probably worse.
is it traveling? Yeah, I be traveling. I'm in Georgia. You see my mom in
Oh,
Georgia.
on the highway? No, okay. When you say,
Yeah, highway.
oh, okay. When I think commute, I think about city. No,
Oh
no.
no, actually, yeah, traveling. I've been to Georgia about 2 or 3 times, I think, in the vehicle. So
Well, when you put this stuff in engine oil, things that you find out by accident. So we had a distributor that insisted that putting this in engine oil would increase fuel economy, and we told him no, it wouldn't. And this guy had managed to get investors to give him money, which he completely wasted. But so he spent $50,000 down at the University of Houston to test our engine oil additive for fuel economy. Well, it got like a 1.16% improvement, not enough to even be worth the trouble. But what was really strange was uh, trucks, these big diesels, they have a soot collection system. And most of them, when they're over the road, they burn off the soot in a process called regeneration. Um, if they're not on the road, they can do a parked regeneration. It just uses more fuel. In any case, this testing involved having a truck going around a track for 1,500 miles. So there was a break-in period, and then there was a test period. Problem was, after the break-in period, with our oil additive, there wasn't any soot, and they couldn't start the test, and they had to go to the factory, and the factory tried, I don't know, it took them hours to figure out how to make it regen because there wasn't any soot there. They were getting remote access to the truck's computer, and it still took the engineers there hours to do it.
hmm
Well, that was very interesting because what it meant was the nanodiamond particles in the oil were getting into the fuel stream, and that's easy to understand because it would get in through the exhaust gas regeneration valve, and being in there, they were getting rid of soot. Who would have known that one? You
wow.
know, so we created a fuel additive out of it.
They need to put some nanocrystals in the
In the
fire
gasoline.
extinguishers.
Well, I don't think that'll work, but that's a different story.
You
But
never know. You didn't think the other ones will work.
well, okay. So we started experimenting with that on cars, and I started with my car. Of course, it was an Acura TL, and the first time I put it into the tank, I drove out of that gasoline station, and I always looked at fuel economy when I start with a fresh tank of gas, and it changes very very slowly under normal circumstances. Um, you won't have any idea for several miles about how it's doing. This time, it was bizarre. The fuel economy numbers when I got out of the station were almost double what they would normally start at. It started at 19 miles per gallon. And as I drove down towards I-96, which was about a little over 4.5 miles, it went from 19 miles per gallon to 36 miles per gallon.
Shut up.
And this is in a high performance engine. I think 260 horsepower, real zippy little vehicle.
Wow.
But one of the things that then happened was over time I couldn't reproduce the results. It took me a while to figure out why, but it was quite clear that the car's computer was screwing it up. And I had to go and do research about how those computers work and where the sensors were,
Right, right. Okay.
and then come up with a theory of what was happening. Now, we already had a theory of what was going on with it, which was that the nano, when your engine has a compression stroke, not only does it compresses the fuel, but also creates NOx at the same time. Everybody knows a little bit about
Yes.
the oxides of nitrogen. And simple theory was that the crystals work as a catalyst to break down NOx and free oxygen for combustion. And one of the issues is that your oxygen sensor is after the fuel has been burned. So when it starts detecting more oxygen than it expects, it figures it didn't throw enough fuel in there. So it adds enough fuel that it gets the right oxygen number, but then it lowers your fuel economy.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't work in a car, but you know where it works? It works in any engine that doesn't have a computer. Um, we started
All
playing
right.
with it in motorcycles and in lawnmowers and snowblowers and God knows what. I use it in my lawnmower. I've got a big lawn. My lot's 6/10 of an acre, and I cut it with a mower. My I think all my neighbors must have riding equipment, and I figure that you should never waste the chance to get some exercise.
Okay.
I calculated how much walking I did when I did my lawn because my lot's like 260 by 170, something in that range. So
Okay.
because this is less than 18 inches wide and it's the biggest mower Honda makes, I walk about 3 miles when I'm cutting the lawn.
Wow. Isn't this something, guys? Now this let me tell you, this young man is 79. Okay, guys. He's in great shape, sound mind, he's out and about. You heard him cutting his grass, walking 3 miles, cutting his grass, getting some good exercise. And so now he has found something, and this is awesome. So
Oh,
as we wrap up today's show, I really want you guys to reach out to Mr. Weingarten, and he'll be able to, if you have any questions about any of the products, he definitely is very knowledgeable of that.
I'll,
And
I was going to say I'll get you to that slide. Anyway,
yeah, and so that he's right here down there. It says the therapeutics for topical use. Um,
I,
this is amazing. It says it's a healing catalyst, anti-inflammatory, which is awesome because inflammation is huge. It's like probably it's the main cause of different diseases and infections. Oh, can you go back? Okay, so it treats rheumatoid arthritis, eczema, bites and stings, muscle spasms and cramps, and more. You heard him talk about headaches, back pain. Guys, you definitely want to
oh,
share this with your loved ones.
so let me tell you about a common muscle spasm that most everybody has from time to time: hiccups.
Oh, wow.
So your diaphragm, if you know your ribs make a little bit of a V below your heart, that's where your diaphragm is. You can take any one of the formulas. If you have the hiccups, just put a little bit over your diaphragm, and it'll go away immediately.
Wow, guys, this is so awesome. He just gave you guys a little hit and little tip there. So
Yeah,
this is awesome. So guys, this is the relief. This is the topical therapeutics that he offers. He has more, so you definitely want to reach out to him to get the one that works for you and for the pain
okay.
that you're experiencing. But this is exciting. This is relief. He's got all products. They're non-toxic,
Right.
no known side effects. Joint pain formula. It is the nano diamonds in the glycerin. The first aid formula is the nano diamonds in Siberian sea buckthorn berry oil. The hemp seed oil formula is the nano diamonds in hemp seed oil with no THC. And this is to reduce or stop pain, and it accelerates natural healing, which is also huge.
What-
So I'm really excited. So here it is, guys. Take a picture, take a picture, take a screenshot. Matter of fact, I am going to take a picture because I am going to repost this so that you guys can contact Mr. Weingarden about his products. This is so awesome, Marshall. I am so excited. I'm so glad that you were able to come on the show and share, because this is amazing, and you are definitely going to help a lot of people to reduce or eliminate their pain that they've been living in for years. So I can't wait to hear the testimonies coming through. I can't wait to get all of the praise reports from this awesome product from people who are going to reach out to you. And trust me, I have a lot of people that come in back for the replay who are working during the day. But you watch, you're going to get some phone calls about this. And just know that you matter, Marshall. You matter. What you're doing matters. You keep doing what you're doing because we need you in our community. We need you in our world, okay? With this awesome, awesome product. And just know that you, sir, are God's celebrity. And Hollywood ain't got nothing on you. Period. And
it,
that is today's show, guys. We thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited for everything that God is doing, excited about how he's just connecting us with great people. And this is because he wants his people to be healed. He's connecting great people together because he wants us all to walk on our divine purpose and all share our gifts with the world. And so, just like Mr. Weingarten had a thought, and now that thought is a business. That's the same thing that you have inside of you. We all have a seed of greatness inside of us. So let that seed shine and share it with the world. Cultivate that seed so that you can positively impact the lives of others every single solitary day. And with that, we say thank you so much. And we will see you next week on the woo. Come on, Mr. Weingarten. You got to say woo.
woo,
Woo. Talk show.
thank you. It's
God
been a
bless you,
pleasure.
everyone. Thank you so much for tapping in and have a wonderful day.